Hey everybody, welcome to the March edition of Spotlight on Bennington. I'm John Shanahan, the director of the Better Bennington Corporation. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to start off in an interesting place. It's a place that's been in business in Bennington for quite a few years, but they just moved into a new location. We thought you'd like to see it. So I'm going to start off by introducing the owner of the company. I have Greg Van Houten here with me, which most of you know.
John,
Greg,
how are you?
Good, how you doing?
In. Welcome to GVH Studio.
Thanks for letting us in, and thanks for giving us a tour of the new spot. Alicia's going to take the camera around and show us some places, but why don't you start off, if you don't mind, tell us a little about GVH.
GVH Studio actually started as a consulting company back in about the year 2000. It was based in pre-press technology and expanded into large format graphic fabrication. We were part of another company a few years ago. I wound up buying out that company and incorporating GVH Studio as a graphics fabricator in 2007. We've been in this building, which is the Great Vermont Mill on 160 Benmont Avenue that everyone knows with the big tower. People know formerly as the Mace Building. We were in the back area for several years, and just this past December moved into a beautiful bright spot here in the front of the building, right under the tower on the ground floor. So we're happy to be here, and we've got a 30% more production space and twice as much storage space as we had previously, as well as an OSHA quality loading dock and better natural light. And as you see around, you'll see what a really beautiful space this is in a classic old building that's been rehabilitated in the last 20 years and now houses about 60 commercial tenants.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask you, but there's 60 tenants right here in the mill.
Yes, there are.
And there's still a lot of space left for interested parties. I've seen
still space. The South Shire Roller Derby team just moved in upstairs in the
South Shire Roller Derby. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's Spotlight next month probably.
Yeah,
you can check that
Mayfest.
out.
If you're one of the roller derbies, just get a hold of me. I don't know how to get a hold of them. I guess I can find them.
Yeah, there's a lot of different businesses in here, from medical offices to folks like us to photographers, designers, consultants, financial institutions.
And John's been great. John, that owns Vermont Mill Properties. It reminds me of what the BCIC over in North Bennington years ago, where you can build the space that you need. There's loading docks, there's parking, lots of places for trucks to come in and go. So it's great for startup manufacturing or businesses that are growing or expanding.
Yeah, John Goodrich is he's an old-time entrepreneur, and I don't mean that he's that old. It's just he's that old-style entrepreneur. He really takes an interest in the businesses. He's been a great landlord for us. He brought Mace to Bennington, and Mace recently left, as people know, but John retired and no longer has an ownership in it, and that's the folks who took it over moved it to Cleveland, where they live. So you can really say that business was here for a long time, specifically because of John and his control he had here. The incubator businesses that you talk about here are significant. There are a lot of small suites in this building that have housed startups and seen people move on to be larger businesses. There's a gym here that takes up a big footprint. Southern Vermont College now takes up half of the third and fourth floor with their medical school. There's a radiation lab upstairs for x-ray, and there's a triage center where they actually simulate emergency room situations and then can critique you on it. There's some fascinating stuff in this building, and it was John's vision years ago, with a lot of help from state entities and local entities, to get this up and running from what was basically a hollow shell 20-some years ago.
Yeah, it's a great building. It really is.
It's nice to see it come to life.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know a contact number of Vermont Mill Properties if somebody's interested?
I can get you that by the end of the show.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll give you the number. If you are interested, we'll show you a little bit from around the building.
Sure.
Give you an idea of what can happen here. And if you are interested in seeing it, just give Vermont Mill Properties a phone call and they'll show you around. And I might as well start off by saying why we're filming here today. You're not specifically in the downtown district, but this is a manufacturing opportunity which is pretty much in downtown. And that's why we're bringing you here today, to show you some things that we don't normally get to show you on Spotlight on Bennington. Greg, if you want to start giving us a tour, we're standing in front of something that both Alicia and I thought was really nice.
This is something we produce. This is our trade show booth that we use. We do sell these units. This is a 10-foot booth unit that collapses into a case. These are graphics that we print here, and it highlights some of the work we have done in the area. Recently, one of our strong suits And niche markets is museum and cultural organizations such as the Clark Art Institute, Norman Rockwell Museum down in Stockbridge, the Hyde Collection up in Glens Falls. I promote our company as museum quality graphics. When people ask me what that means, what it really means is that our work does hang as exhibits in museums. We have actually printed pieces that are part of the exhibit, not just the supporting labels and whatnot. So we do a lot of labels, a lot of info panels, but there was a situation a few years ago where Norman Rockwell Museum in Stockbridge had a key summer exhibit that was Blue Sky Studios. Ice Age, productions like that is their work. Well, they're a digital studio. There is no artwork to hang.
Oh.
So we produced all of the artwork from their digital files. They framed it and hung it on the wall in the museum. So our
Nice.
artwork was, once again, the subject of the exhibit, not just a supporting role of it. So that's one large element of our business. But we also support the promotion of events throughout the area. We do industrial graphics. We work for the manufacturers around.
All right, starting here, we're just showing you, we're starting off with a few of the finished products that you guys make here at GVH. Greg, this one's a little bit different, and after we talk about this, we'll take you from beginning to end, the whole process, and he's going to take us through the whole shop here.
Sure.
But what is this?
This is another trade show backdrop. This is another 10-foot booth backing. This is a company up in Randolph, Vermont that makes LED replacement tubes, and we actually met them at the Vermont Aeronautics and Aerospace Trade Show last summer, where we were the graphic sponsor and they were also an exhibitor. So this came out of that networking through the Vermont Chamber of Commerce.
The conference up at the airport?
At the airport, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were the official graphic sponsor of that event and made some nice contacts throughout the state. So this is something that we'll be delivering this week for a trade show that they've got coming up soon. So we have a variety of styles that you can use, including banner stands, which you see a lot, which retract into themselves. A lot of our market is small, portable trade show graphics, as opposed to the big structural ones you may see.
So all of this collapses up. Yeah, this is like a fabric, right?
Yeah, this is a fabric. This will take the feet off. This will collapse right into a bag. If you stay right there, this whole thing goes into this bag. It's a roller bag, and you can carry it right into your trade show. So one person can set this up and walk in and walk out with it.
Yeah, I tried, well, you know, the simple one you've prepared for me? That's a three-person job when I'm involved, so. All right, that's some of the finished product. You'll see a lot more, but stay with us. We're going to take you around the entire factory here.
Great.
Before we go any further, Greg promised to get you that phone number, so we have it here. This is the number to Vermont Mill Properties. It's, of course, area code 802, number 779-5237. 779-5237. Even if you just want to check it out, if you know somebody who might be interested in coming to downtown Bennington, please give them that number. Greg, thanks for bringing us on a whole tour here. We're starting off, and this is pretty much where it starts, right?
Right. This is what we call the art department, or the pre-press department. And pre-press is what I came out of in the offset printing industry, and this kind of grew out of my skills in pre-press and need to go in a new direction because of what was happening in the offset industry. So we, for the most part, fabricate graphic projects for people. We do provide design services, we provide installation services, and different networks of fabrication. We like to capitalize on the strengths that Bennington has, like metal fabrication, wood fabrication, plastics, and things like that, to partner with other companies in town and create a project that otherwise might just be decals or banners. Very often we have someone who comes to us and they have an idea for a graphic, but they don't know how to put it up or where to get it, how to get it to stand and be safe in the public area or something. So we do that quite often for our customers. They'll send us a graphic file in one of the many Adobe formats. It'll come into this office here, and you'll see there's several workstations here, Macintosh workstations, and the Apple computer is still the sweetheart of the graphics industry, so most of our customers are on that. We'll receive that. This is Nicole Minshew, who's our shop manager. And Nicole is a Bennington native and a graduate of the Mount Anthony school system. Sure, the projects will come in, and myself or Nicole will enter the project, and it'll go into the pipeline and be quality controlled and checked, make sure that the file is what we need. You see a lot of different issues with files from great to mediocre and below, and So we try to get that out so that our print quality comes out at a reasonable level for everyone for the expected project. So we shoot basically for a very high level of imaging quality, nice sharp type, matching colors and things like that. So that's what Nicole is charged with on a regular basis, in addition to making sure that the projects get in the front door and out the back door on schedule and on budget.
Well, thanks, Greg. That was all the questions we were going to ask Nicole. So now you know what Nicole does in her title as shop manager, right?
Yes.
How long have you been here?
I've been with GVH for 4 years?
Yeah.
4 years.
It'll be 4 years this month, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What brought you here? You're from the area?
I'm from the area. I previously worked with Greg, and when he opened GVH.
And you still came here?
I know.
Wow.
So,
Tight job market, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good for you.
Yeah.
So you worked with Greg before, you're from the area, did you go away to school, or you stayed in the area and you have a family?
I moved back to the area, and I was looking for a job, and Greg was kind enough to offer me employment.
Excellent.
We were very
Excellent.
lucky to get Nicole. I had worked with Nicole, and her attitude towards making the customer happy and getting a project done on time is second to none, so.
So are you the one that somebody reaches when they call in?
Yes,
So you're the first contact?
It
yes.
could be myself or Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend. No, that's great. Thanks for the time, and we're just going to show everybody around your work area, if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
Okay, we've moved over to the processing facility here. When Nicole and I are done with a graphic file, it'll be sent across the network to what's called a RIP station. That stands for Raster Image Processing. And what that does is it controls the printers. It converts the PostScript files into a photo file, if you will, that is compatible with the specific printer that we're running. This machine will run up to 4 different printers on this software. And behind it, you'll see the Epson GS6000 printer, which is a green solvent printer. It is an outdoor quality printer, but it has the ink that has reduced the carcinogens, or eliminated carcinogens, and reduced the heavy metals significantly, so as to eliminate the need for harmful fume removal and hazardous waste removal from the extra ink. So that was a major achievement in the ink industry, and was what got us into outdoor printing, because I was hesitant to get into the solvent printing with the previous ink qualities. The printer next to it was a Hewlett-Packard machine that is mostly used for indoor graphics. A lot of museum panels are done on that. They're both very high-resolution printers, just different types of inks.
Which one of these do you use for, like, kiosk banners? Is it that way they come off that machine?
They'll actually do either one, because the kiosk banner is inside the glass,
yeah.
so it's considered short-term outdoor, and they'll both do that adequately. So there are some products we can print on either one of these machines,
Right.
or both, you know. But your vehicle graphics, your banners, things like that are done on the Epson. Indoor stuff very often is done on the Hewlett-Packard.
All right. Next up, we're going to go behind us, I guess.
Yeah, we could
hand
take a look
signals.
at whatever makes Alicia curious.
Just so that you know,
Yeah, we can name you.
don't turn it off, just so you know, she's behind the camera doing this, usually.
And this is our vinyl stock and material stock. We have multiple different media choices here, and this is what you accumulate over time when you have printers. There's styrenes and vinyls and canvas, clear, white, perforated, all kinds of things. And part of our challenge is to identify what it is the customer needs based on their hopes for their design, and to get the right media in the right place for them, so that they get the best value out of the job and the best imaging quality.
All right, let's head into the other side.
Sounds good. Okay, we've moved into the finishing department, and this first machine I'm going to show you is a 54-inch graphic vinyl plotter. It cuts your traditional lettering and shapes from vector files, which are just strictly solid color shapes. You'll see it on the side of vehicles, you'll see it on walls. We very often use it for museum walls. If you walk into a museum exhibit, you'll see the story of the exhibit on the wall and individual letters with no background or carrier, just on the paint. That's how those are made. This can cut it out of a single roll of 48-inch vinyl. What it also will do is take a printed piece that we run on the Epson and cut out a shape out of that, out of a printed image. So, for instance, if I printed a picture of John at full size and created a shape around him, I could then put it on this, cut it out, and make a giant John decal out of it. So that comes in very handy, not necessarily John's image, but...
That would turn your business around.
Images that
Dart
can go on
practice.
vehicles. If you see flowers on the side of a vehicle or something like that, that's how that's produced. The printed vinyl, if we move over here, you'll see the Image 600 is a seal laminator. That puts a film laminate on top of a printed image, which basically doubles the life of the image from UV and weather-related issues. So it allows you to wash it, allows you to get a lot more life out of it. So for a little more money, you can double the life of your graphics. So for long-term vehicle graphics, you'll always see a film laminate put on those. It's not necessary on everything we do, but it is an important part of the process. We keep rolling across over here. You'll see this room start to open up and some of the great light we get out of the front parking lot here in the courtyard.
I got to interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
I'm walking very strangely behind you, and I just want to remember, I'm the microphone, which is why I'm in the shot.
You always walk like
Well,
that.
I'm trying to follow you and not get behind you.
This machine was added a couple of years ago. This is called a Rogue Roller, and this is an air compressor driven machine which will take this very heavy roller and use it to position a graphic on top of a substrate such as a foam core or gator foam or PVC or wood board, and then we can drop it in place and assemble it. So it allows one person to basically position a graphic on a substrate with just two hands instead of having to get some help. It also is a 5-foot by 10-foot light table. So we can use it for
Air hockey.
graphics. Everybody thinks it's an air hockey table. I sometimes wish it were. Again, this is run with an air compressor. This was made by a company in Washington State, and we had that shipped here a few years ago. It's a fellow who actually owned a sign shop and was a welder and found a need for this and found that the foreign makers were the only ones he could get it from, and it cost a lot of money, so he made a very reasonably priced one, and I stumbled on him at a trade show once and wound up getting it. Quite a
I've seen,
character.
it's been 3 stickers made in the USA so far, so you're doing well, Greg.
We try hard. We work in the USA, so we like to support people who make
I'm
things in
American.
the USA.
I was made in the USA.
Yeah, we try to stick with stuff. It's not possible with everything because some of these companies that were so successful here were purchased by foreign companies, but a lot of the equipment is made in America. This is our pre-press director, our finishing director, I'm sorry. This is Annika Goodhue, also a Bennington native and product of our fine school system. Annika is also a photographer. You may know her dad is a photographer, and I met Annika years ago when she worked at the Mount Anthony Country Club, and several years ago, or actually exactly a year ago yesterday, Annika joined us. She had contacted me a few months before and said that she was in the area looking for work, and when we had a position open up, I called her and she came in, and we've been real happy having her here. Annika is working on some banners here right now that came off the Epson. These are actually 2 banners run side by side. Annika's going to cut these apart and then sew them on our rather elaborate sewing machine, which I do not know how to run, but Annika runs very well. So
Job security, don't ever show them how to do it.
that's not really a stretch. I don't know that I'd ever grasp it. But so Annika keeps her work on this rack here, which is actually made by the same gentleman who makes these Rogue Rollers. And this was an invention he came up with, which we found it very useful. So it keeps the graphics rolled and off the table so they don't get pressed together and stick to each other, and then she can roll it onto these tables. As you'll see, all of Annika's tables are on wheels. The laminator's on wheels, the Rogue Roller is on wheels, all of these tables are on wheels so that we can convert this room into whatever we need it to be. So right now, we've got these trade show booths up, so we can push these tables up here, focus the work up here, and have plenty of room to work on these. When those are done and delivered, the tables can come back here. We might be flipping 4-by-8 foot boards around on these tables over here. So it gives us an opportunity to move the work, not have to carry it around and damage it possibly. You know, sometimes with these big graphics, it's nice to be able to just pick them up, put them down, move the table, and not move the graphic. So that's, you can see the size of the cutters behind Annika here. These are for cutting big board. I don't know if at least you can get the camera on it, but these are wall-mounted cutters for cutting big pieces of board, and then you can drop them right on the table and do what you have to do.
You say board, you talking wood or like the foam core stuff?
Foam core, it could, we don't cut wood on these, but we cut foam core and things. We do projects with wood, but I don't know if you want to shoot that rack over there in the corner. This is just a portion of our board inventory. And you can see we have white and black boards of different thicknesses and different construction, and those are for different specific jobs. So on a museum board, they may decide they want a 1/2-inch substrate to make the work come off the wall. Somebody else may want just a 3/16 inch substrate to put on their door, so it's not terribly obtrusive. Sometimes they'll layer it. A museum label might be 2 millimeters, the information label might be 3/16, the intro panel might be a 1/2-inch thick. So things will be stepped out. So we keep quite a significant inventory of mounting substrates on hand, as well as the print media.
I understood none of that, but it was interesting. Greg, I'm glad we got to go through your shop today. Congratulations on your new location and the expansion.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Anna Goodhue and Nicole Minshew for showing us around their departments. And we're here, again, GVH Studios. I gave you the number. If you'd like to see more of the location that we're in, there's space available. There's commercial and manufacturing space on the first and second floor, and there's a lot of commercial office space on 2 and 3, right?
And then fourth floor as well. Fourth floor has some office space and the south wing and the main wing. There's a fitness studio up on the fourth floor and south wing. There's photography studios all over the place in here. There's a lot of good stuff. And there's our phone.
All right.
The phones are already ringing, John.
Excellent. Great.
Thank you, Greg.
Much. Stay with us. We're going to head over to Madison's Brew Pub and check out the new place now that they've reopened after their flood this winter, so hang on and stay with us.
Can we go?
Well, we moved on from GVH, but I'd like to thank Greg and Nikki and his whole staff there for welcoming us there this week and showing us around. Again, remember to call John at Vermont Mill Properties if you're interested in seeing the entire place. Our next stop, as I told you, is here at Madison's. Right now, Alicia and I are upstairs at Madison's, getting a little busy, a little noisy downstairs, but we're going to show you around with some of the pictures, but I think we'll do most of the talking up here where we can hear what's going on. As most of you know, definitely the whole downtown community knows, Madison's was shut down for about a month and a half due to an accident with their fire sprinkler system that went off and flooded the restaurant. Well, they were able to do a lot of renovation here and get the place back open. But on top of everything else, and hopefully we'll speak with one of the owners later on, tell us how it all went. Place looks great. They're back in business. But they kind of did an above and beyond kind of move that a lot of employers aren't able to do. News spread quickly throughout town that the entire month and a half that they were closed, their entire staff was paid the whole time. They took care of business through insurance, making sure that if something like this did happen, their staff would be taken care of all the way through, and they were. So if you want to see some happy employees, let's go talk to the ones that work for Madison's. They did a beautiful job. There's new floor, new carpeting, new walls, new bathrooms, whole new kitchen. It's great to have them back on Main Street, so we'd like to say congratulations and welcome back to Madison's. Make sure you stop back in and check it out. Moving forward, I have a few more thank yous. The next one is to the Dion Sport Shoe Company, or Snowshoe Company in North Bennington, and the whole crew that brought the 2014 Dion U.S. National Snowshoe Championships to Bennington. Well, as we're filming, it's this weekend, but by the time this shows, it'll have already gone past. The snow conditions look great at Prospect. Prospect has had a lot of activity up there this winter. Lots of snow, as they always have. So that's another spot. A gem we have right here in town that we tend to overlook a lot is Prospect Mountain, which is world-class cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. Get up there and check it out. So congratulations to the whole Dion team for bringing them to Bennington. And my last thank you goes out to Kathy Hoisington. And you're probably wondering, now why am I picking out Kathy Hoisington, who is a realtor here in Bennington, a large one, a long-term one. But Kathy did something that I kind of wish a lot more of us did. She saw a need that we had in Bennington. She knew it was an issue that lots of groups have been working on for a long time, and she took care of it herself. Took it in her own hands. She financed it by herself, designed it by herself, had it installed by herself. Well, she didn't install it, but she had it installed. What Kathy did was order, pay for, and have a billboard installed on the west entrance to Bennington. You know, we've been talking about it a lot. Hopefully we'll be able to get a photo of it up here on the show. Kathy sent it to me. Beautiful billboard saying visit Bennington. It's where Vermont begins. It's shops, galleries, artwork, restaurants, everything people want to see, history, museums, everything people want to see when they come to Vermont. So Kathy, thank you very much for what you did for us in Bennington. I promise you have a lot of partners keeping that thing up and running in the future on the west side of town, which is really important now that 279 is open in both directions. So I'm just urging all of you, when you're driving back into town, check it out. Send Kathy a little message letting her know how important it was that she took that upon herself and did it. Next, we're going to go on to congratulations. This year at the Bennington Area Chamber of Commerce annual dinner, they hand out the Michael Williams Hospitality Award. The Hospitality Committee this year selected the Downtown Docents as the recipient. The Downtown Docents are made up of, I think, 11 women who volunteer at the Better Bennington Corporation. They're the ones who run the Downtown Welcome Center and Visitor Center. They, if you haven't heard me talk about them 1,000 times, know so much about our area. They're so good with our visitors, and there couldn't be a group more deserving of that award. So thanks to the Chamber, first of all, for recognizing all their efforts and their talent, but thanks to the docents for everything they do for our community, and especially for the Better Bennington Corporation, and for keeping our Welcome Center up and running all year long. And then finally, just going to throw in a couple of events coming up. We just had the Snowshoe Championship here this weekend, but on the radar already is St. Patrick's Day. The parade this year is, the BBC is taking it over along with JC's Tavern. Jackie Carson and Brian Johansson, the owners, along with Kathy Wilkinson from Wave and quite a few other people, formed a committee and taken over the parade this year. So the parade's still on, and that's going to be on Sunday, March 17th. I'm sorry, March 16th. It's the day before St. Patrick's Day this year. And the parade starts off at the old middle school at 1 o'clock, heads east on Main Street, no it doesn't, it heads west on Main Street, right up to Depot, goes north up to the Bennington Fire Station. So come early. It's been beautiful for the last couple of years, so hopefully this year it's going to be just as nice. Got a lot of people in the lineup already, but the day starts off much earlier than that this year because JC's is hosting the Kegs and Eggs fundraiser. And what that is, at 9:30 in the morning, there's a live Irish band, the Bagpipers, a breakfast buffet, celebrity servers, all taking place at JC's Tavern on the corner of River Street and Depot Street. Starts at 9:30 and it goes right up until parade time, and which JC's is on the parade route, so you just got to step outside and you get to see the whole parade go right by. And then it continues when the parade ends with live music and food for the rest of the day over at JC's. So thanks to that group for banding together and picking up the ball when TJ is down in Florida, and he's working with us as well, getting us all the information, but keeping that tradition going and hopefully watching it grow as the years go by. So it's March 16th, 9:30 in the morning, Kegs and Eggs, and the recipient for the fundraiser this year is the Bennington Coalition for the Homeless. So please stop down. There's, like I said, breakfast, a lot of fun, there's raffles, and the door cover is all going to the Coalition for the Homeless. Come on down. It's a great cause and a lot of fun taking care of that. And then Mayfest. We, oddly enough, are about 3/4 of the way full with vendors already. So we're well underway for getting Mayfest set up and getting everything in place. So if you are a local artist or a crafter, like to be involved in Mayfest or a local nonprofit, give us a call at the BBC. We'll make sure we get you set up in the event. That's here. It's on Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, which I think is the 24th of May. I'm pretty sure it is the 24th of May. Call us again at 442-5758. Or you can go right to our website, which is betterbennington.com, On the home page, just click on Mayfest application. You can download it, fill it out, and get it into us. Deadline's coming up to get those applications in, so check it out pretty quickly and get back into us. While you're at the website, up in the right-hand corner, it says Community Calendar. That's a Google product that the BBC, the Town of Bennington, and the Bennington Area Chamber of Commerce got together, and we now have one community calendar that are all linked together. So if you go to the Chamber site, you go to the BBC site, you go to the Town of Bennington site, click on any one of our community calendars, and you'll see all of our events that they're all linked together. If you have an organization in the downtown area and you would like the BBC to start putting your events on the calendar, please call us again at 442-5758. If you're an organization throughout the town, you can get a hold of the Chamber of Commerce at 447-3311 and get in on their calendar. You need to be a member of the Chamber to get involved there. You need to be in the downtown district or the member of the BBC to get on our calendar. Or if you're a municipality or a school system, you can do that through Michael Harrington at the Town of Bennington. But we've been talking for years about I wish there was one place that everybody could see everything going on. We finally have it. It'll take us a few months to populate all the information once all the organizations get involved. But once it's up and running, kind of maintains itself, and you enter your own events by yourself, and it automatically links. So we think that's a problem we can check off our list right now. Before we get downstairs, I just want to talk about two little issues that I think need to be discussed and get out there in the public, because to keep things clear and to keep the truth out there in the open. There's been some things mentioned about some of the activity of the BBC that I want to explain and share with you why we do what we do and the information that we hand out. First thing I'm going to talk about, it's been, I have to put out numbers, and I mention the businesses that move in and move out, and I tell the facts about downtown. There's a lot of perception, and granted, and I share everyone's belief that it appears to be a lot of vacancies because that strip between the Four Corners and School Street is where the vacancies occur. One large landlord, that entire property just sold, so we're looking forward to seeing some changes right there now, and that is referred to as the 400 block, or the Heart block, between the Four Corners and Madison's, where we are. The entire property was transferred within the last month. Looking forward to seeing the changes and working with the new owners. A lot of vacancies there. And directly across the street, there's a couple of estates that own some of that property over there that's been sitting there vacant for a long time as well. We're working real hard with the property owners to make the properties marketable. If there's no ceiling and no walls and no floors and no electricity and no bathrooms, it is not marketable. The vacancies we have downtown aren't from lack of interest. It's lack of available property, which sounds strange to hear, but it's the truth. You want to see what is available downtown, visit our website, betterbennington.com. On the left-hand column, it says Open a Business. Click on that, or hover over it, and then a menu will open. It says Available Downtown Property, and that's something the BBC maintains. We have a photograph of every single business downtown and all the specifications, contact number, rental rates, sizes, location, suggestions for use. Click on that. You'll see out of all of downtown, there's not that much available, even though what is very visible, there is a lot of opportunities right there. Check it out. That's reality. There's a few places we leave off. Like I said, if it's not a rentable property, we don't even count it because there's nothing we can do about it. When I throw out numbers, one I have to throw out each year at the end of the year when I give numbers is the net gain in businesses in the downtown district. The downtown district is very, very specific. It's not just, oh, this area. It starts at this corner, ends up at that corner, and includes that property, not that property. So it is the designated district is what I track. The numbers I have to collect, which go on all year long, are businesses that move into the district, new businesses that open in the district, those that move out or close, how many new employees are gained or lost, how much public investment there is in the district, how much private investment there is in the district, how many rehabs, how many demolitions, how many new constructions, how many facade improvements. The details go on and on and on. Those aren't numbers we chose, but we're part of a national program. Those are the numbers that are tracked nationally between 2,600 communities across the country. I don't have a choice in that, and I can't make those numbers up. Number one, they're easy to prove, but number two, they use that information to track how downtowns are doing across the country. Providing erroneous information doesn't serve anybody any purpose at all. It doesn't do us any good either. The number I've been using over the past 5 years, downtown Bennington has a net gain. In case you're not aware what that means, it means in addition to our losses, on top of those, the bottom line is we are ahead by 34 businesses in the last 5 years. It's 34 new existing businesses is our net gain downtown. Not counting those who moved or closed, it would be upward of 60. So when I say those numbers, and then in the paper you read, like, I'm just throwing numbers out, I can prove it. I ask anybody who denies those numbers to prove that they're wrong. I know it sounds kind of negative that I'm saying this, and it drives Alicia crazy, but misinformation doesn't do anybody any good, and it doesn't just damage the BBC, it damages our community, because it looks like things aren't going well, when in fact, things are going well. We have vacancies, and we have opportunities, and we have a lot of interest in not only downtown, but also on Northside Drive in our business areas. So if you want to see those numbers, stop down and I'll go through them with you. I'll give you the names of the businesses that moved in. I'll give you the owners. I'll show you how many employees they got. I'll show you the list from our grand list and our application list of who invested in downtown. Not numbers I make up, not numbers I could make up. I had to say that. And I have to say it also with apology to my board of directors, who, like Alicia, always ask me to take the high road and not get dragged into dirt of having to defend ourselves. My board of directors doesn't feel like the Better Bennington Corporation has any need to defend itself, and I agree with them. We work great with our downtown community. There's a lot going on down here. Granted, a lot of it's behind the scenes, but a lot of good things are happening here. And when I personally feel like there's something negative in the paper, that sometimes perception can become truth, I want to make sure I throw the truth out there to you right now. That's done. That said, I'll be glad to show you these numbers. I have to submit them quarterly to the Vermont Downtown Program, who in turn submits them to the National Trust for Historic Preservation, who both do great jobs too. Moving on. We're going to take you downstairs right now, show you around some of the restaurant, end on a really positive note. One more thing before I do, and I apologize. We go all around town with Legacy Images of Vermont, the company that produces the Spotlight on Bennington, with Alicia Romack, of course. And we take the camera around to new businesses downtown. We talk about events, we talk about issues, we introduce you to people, and then we'll take you outside of the district sometime to show you places that are really important to our community. Our colleges, for instance, what's good for them is good for us downtown. What's good for us is good for the major employers downtown. If we look good, they look good when they're trying to recruit some people to their businesses, trying to recruit students. Where's the first place everybody goes? Downtown. What can the BBC do about it? We make sure the streets are as litter-free as possible. We are 100% graffiti-free downtown. We work with the town of Bennington and Bloom, which has been beautiful the last couple of years. We work with them on the furnishings, the planters, the banners, the flags, the whole shooting match. So downtown Bennington, even though we get used to it, is a really beautiful downtown in our community. The whole community is. We don't see it because we live here and it's the grass is greener. We do about 2,000 visitors just at the Downtown Visitor Center each year. Almost all of them comment on how beautiful our town is. That's why we do what we do, and that's the effect we can have on it. When we film in some of these places, we do it for a reason. It's either really important to the community, it's important to downtown, or where the downtown communities and this community support is important to them. For instance, the Bennington County Meals on Wheels program, which is in the downtown district, right over there on Pleasant Street at the Senior Center, in front of the Balloonsack Senior Apartments. We filmed there a few months ago, and I needed some help because we had to film twice So I asked Michael Harrington from the town of Bennington, who is the Community Development Director, who has a lot to do with the senior program and the Meals on Wheels program. We asked Susan Fox if we could come over, tell the town about her program, who they serve, and how it operates. And they were very gracious. We sat there and had lunch with them, met a lot of the clients that go in there. But very important program, a wonderful program, and they deliver meals to homes in Bennington, and they also open up their restaurant so that seniors or anybody can actually stop in and have lunch. It's the only, a lot of times it's the only interaction shut-ins have, and the only meal they have throughout the day, thanks to that program. They open up the restaurant, and they have, along with the senior center, lots of activities to provide social interaction for senior citizens who might not have a lot of family close by or a lot of things on their agenda. What a great program that Susan Fox runs over there. Stop in there. If you want to just go in and have lunch, everybody's welcome. $5 donation. If you're over 65, it's $4, I believe. And if you can't afford it, it doesn't cost anything. Make sure you stop in there. I'm so glad that the BBC was able to film that and bring that to you. Guarantee you we'll be back there filming again within the next couple of months. Let us know what you think about it. You got any ideas for Spotlight on Downtown? Call us one more time at 442-5758. I'll make sure we get over there. That's it. Now we're going to take you downstairs, show you some what changes happened here at Madison's while we were closed. Hopefully catch up with one of the owners and talk to some of the employees. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Yes, you do. I do? Just put in your, how you doing? Okay, Donna will come over and do it. Oh, good. Yeah. Things are going well. I'm glad they're back open. Boy, it's a big empty spot on Main Street. Well, I promised you we'd take you downstairs and show you around the restaurant, but it's not working out too well because they're kind of busy and the employees are all too busy to speak to. So Alicia took some photos. What you got to do is just come on down here and check it out. It's great to have them back on Main Street. But instead of talking with the employees and the owners, I found some friends of ours sitting here at the bar at Madison's. I'd like to introduce you, first of all, to Mark. Mark is an employee of
Lenco Armored Vehicles in Pittsfield, Mass.
Lenco Armored Vehicles. A lot of you have heard for that. And so recruiting is a big term in Bennington. So here I am at Madison's trying to get Mark and his company to move up to Bennington. Much better than doing business down in Pittsfield anyways. Mark has some friends that he brought with him. I haven't even met your names yet. Or
Todd
met you.
Tanaka.
Todd, John Shanahan. Todd, welcome to Bennington.
Thank you.
Todd, where are you from?
I'm from Kauai,
Which is where?
Hawaii, in the state of Hawaii. So Hawaii's representing real well in Vermont.
Nice. Welcome to Bennington. I'm going to tell you, we got a lot of people from outside of our town that come here. A lot of you don't see them. Come to Madison's. It's a first stop for most people. Welcome to Vermont. Who are
I'm
you?
Glenn Ebesu
Glenn?
from Hawaii on Kauai.
Welcome to Bennington. Glad you're here today.
Nick Corson,
Nick, and you're also from Hawaii?
Yep.
What island? You're all from the...
all from Kauai.
You all are. Yeah. Welcome to Bennington.
Thank you, sir.
Today you guys went out and did some stuff. What'd you do so far?
We saw the monument. We checked into some local stores, got some syrup, got some souvenirs for our people back home, and now we're just enjoying your dark maple beer.
Awesome. Good choice.
The brew.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Welcome to town. I hope you have a really good time. And when you're done visiting Bennington, make sure you get out to Hawaii and visit their hometown. It's a little nicer than Vermont, at least in my opinion, but especially this time of year. And it's
50 degrees warmer, 50, 60 degrees warmer. Therein lies the trick.
Guys, thanks for joining us on camera. We look forward, Mark, to having you and your company come up to Bennington pretty soon. All right, thanks for hanging in with us today. It was a long show, but we appreciate you staying and watching the entire thing. Remember, I asked you to visit a few places. One of them was the Bennington Meals on Wheels program. Thanks to Susan Fox and her staff for all that they do in town. And again, I promise you we'll be back there in a few months. Also, thanks to Greg Van Houten and his staff over at GVH Studios. Great spot you got there, Greg, and congratulations on your expansion. We'll be back in about a month, but in the meantime, make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you get to the St. Patrick's Day Parade and to the Kegs and Eggs fundraisers coming up on March 16th. If you're interested in Mayfest, again, 442-5758, or betterbennington.com, our website, to get in as a vendor, an entertainer, or a food server. In the meantime, have a great month, and thanks again for joining us. Hey, guys.
Aloha.
All right.